Alright, chat. Abzan, venture into the dungeon. There aren't a ton of new cards that really slot into here. We're trying a few copies of Wandering Emperor in the main and a couple of the legendary lands as utility in the mana base, but the core of the deck's still the same as what it was in previous seasons. We've got Ranger and Paladin here for consistent venture. We've got some Triumphant Adventurers, we got some Ellywicks, we've got some Precipitous Drops. So let's go ahead and pop on into some games with this and see how it feels. Dean, not as good as it was pre-coming out. No, it's really not. I think we just drop here. It doesn't fully kill it, but it will eventually kill it. We usually go into the Pandelver as our first dungeon. We bottom this. We'll go Halfling into Florahedron here. And then next turn, we can go Varis into A-Cloister Gargoyle. So if we treasure token here, I can Fungal Cavern. I think I want to Goblin into a 1/1 counter here, right? We're gonna put this on Varis. Sorry, chat. I am split attention here. My wife has just messaged me letting me know that the fucking hillbilly rednecks that make decisions in regards to my school district in the very red area that I live in, Central Illinois, have decided that they are removing the mask requirement for children in schools despite it being a mandate from the governor here in our state still currently. So That's gonna, and the fucking cowards decided that they were going to announce that change was happening in the middle of the school day and tell the kids that they can just take all their masks off. They made it in the middle of the day without notifying anybody in advance. And you only do a decision like that without notification in advance if you know you're doing something wrong. Actually perpetual children. I think we gotta attack here, just try and close the game out. We are at 4, so we're in danger of getting burned out. All right, good beats. Yes, especially children in grade school should be, their parents should be talking to them about stuff like that. But they don't actually give a shit about kids, Chip. We're gonna bring in some removal spells. Emperor seems pretty good here. I don't know that I want Skyclave Apparition. What are we trimming? I need 2 cuts. Innkeeper probably dies a lot of the time. It's been a little while since we talked about politics on stream, so just in case there's anybody new watching the stream today, I welcome all reasonable and decent people into my content spaces, but if you're one of the people that's supporting the conservatives that are doing immense damage to both my country and the health of my children and others during a literal pandemic, feel free to fuck on off into the sun. Someday, it's gonna be really interesting to see how my children's generation reacts to learning about how many adults failed to feel like they needed to do the bare minimum to protect vulnerable people like them during a time like this. Have to explain to them that to them. I think if they attack with something here, we just block. Eight on into the Pandelver here. Yeah, I'm in for Deathcap Glade. It gives us the option to play both of these or Ellywick next turn. I'm still mad at my parents for criminalizing skateboard. This generation is gonna have some feelings. Yep. Like a goblin token for blocking with down the line. Go play one of these as a land and one as a creature.
just love a good quest.
Alright, they have 2 Dens of the Bugbear. Oh, it's such a good top deck. Lets them kill my Ellywick before we can finish this dungeon. Carvacab, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel today.
I'll show you the power of music.
Yeah, son of some. One thing the right-wing space in the United States especially has done very successfully and smartly is a lot of progressives and left-leaning people have this tunnel vision on just the national and what happens there. And they mostly completely ignore things that can happen at the state and local level where lots of stuff gets done.
I love making new friends.
Your state and local elections are just as much, if not more important than your national ones. I think we trade Gargoyle for Stormseeker here. You're not attacking my Ellywick. Oh. Yeah, no blocks. Oh. Ow!
Fine. I'll take my loot and go somewhere else. Here's someone you should meet.
Alright, are we going back? I think I need to go back into the Pandelver here, because making a wolf sounds really appealing. I also get to scry and then make a 2/2 here. I'm just chilling on the attacks for now, I think. Hey, it's a good start. This archetype always felt consistently decent against decks like that previous opponent's deck that wanted to play to the board. Interested to see how the rest of that plays out. I keep this on the play. Historic was fine. I think we ended in a pretty okay spot. The list we started with was kind of medium, but it was worth trying at the very least. It's nice. Do we Ellie on 3 then? Maybe? I think I'm gonna do this and just get our dungeon going. You basically always want to go into one of the 4-part dungeons first, usually Pandelver. Sometimes if you're being super aggressive, you can go into one of the others, but Pandelver is usually a safe bet first. With the drop here, next turn we'll be able to venture, make a treasure, play this, play drop. I've talked about my upbringing on stream before. I grew up in a family that was very conservative. But I moved out of my parents' home to go to college when I was 17 and started working full time. And your worldview changes a lot when you start seeing it through the lens of more than just the people that you grew up with. I did the very typical transition that you see from people that grew up conservative of thinking I wanted to identify as a libertarian. But as every person that has critical thinking skills does, I eventually passed through that phase and realized that I care about other people, so I couldn't be a libertarian. For the 44 months, Time Lord, welcome back. I have a undergraduate and a graduate degree, and those darn liberal brainwashing facilities that taught me critical thinking skills made me realize what nonsense. I think the biggest eye-opening moment for me that was like, oh, I'm just a Democrat, was realizing the realization that there wasn't a fiscally conservative party in the United States. They both wanted to spend lots of money. It's just the Democrats wanted to spend money helping people, and the conservatives wanted to spend money on things that explicitly weren't helping people. All right, what are we doing here? We're definitely casting Wanderer Emperor. I think we're just going up with Ellywick. See what we draw. Jeff, corporations are people, something like that. A lot of my politics are very simple. I think that we should take care of people. I don't think my children should have to do safety drills in the event that someone walks into their school with an automatic weapon and decides to slaughter school children. I don't think someone should go broke because they got sick or a family member got sick. And having beliefs like those make me the far left in the United States, which is nonsense and bullshit, but that's the reality that I live in. Wadakis, thanks for the 39 months. Welcome back. Yeah, we never asked the question, how are we gonna pay for it when it comes to killing people with weapons of mass destruction, chat. But as soon as we want to pay for people to not go bankrupt when they get sick, suddenly we start counting all the pennies. That's a good stat. 62% of bankruptcies in the United States are caused by medical debt. It's a sad reality that we shouldn't have to live in. I think we're just going back into the Pandelver here because I want to finish another dungeon quickly so that way Varis can make more wolves for me. So we'll exile you, we'll double block you. I think I'm making this a 4/4, so it can block this profitably.
Remember your training.
Oh, we're gonna put another 1/1 counter on something here too. Actually, oh, I can't focus. I would say maybe we give it minus attack. That's actually not an option.
Come on, hurry up.
Let's make this a 2/2. So many Inquisitor captains. Don't find another Banisher Priest. Just don't Banisher Priest me this turn. Don't do it. Have a heart. Alright. Not a Banisher Priest. Oh, this gains Vigilance though, which is not good. A-Ellywick's Unite move leaves a lot to be desired. It is not particularly good. It's indestructible and it gets 10 counters. I have, okay, that's a blocker. Let's start here and see what we get. Yeah, nailed it, chat. A true skill game. Never didn't have it. Alright, so think it's Mad Mage time now. I think we've stabilized enough that they're out of cards.
Keep watch for it, troops. I just love a good quest.
Yeah, maybe we were just supposed to take the +2/+2. I think this one's probably a build our own adventure book from here. I'm not really sure that it's losable. Oh, I guess they're gonna get to exile something else if I cast 2 spells. I've completed the same dungeon twice.
I know some good fighting songs. So brace yourself.
What if we just, like, punt our planeswalkers and attack from here? Is that crazy?
We've got the edge.
Nah, let's just crunch them. Let's do it. Rawr. Yeah, they're at 33. We're gonna crunch through that. It's a lot of damage. They can take a hit for 1 turn here, and like they can pressure my planeswalkers in the backswing, but like it's still got what 15, 25 power in play. His archetype is excellent into things that play to the board. As we are showing, Innkeeper comes out here. Just bring in most of the removal spells. This is how many removal spells is too many removal spells? Chat. It's like an all Doomblades on deck type situation. It feels like it might be an all Doomblades on deck type situation. This is a little awkward. A little awkward against what's it called? do you feel about this deck's ability to recover post sweeper? It's not great. The meat hook massacre decks are really bad matchups. I've got 3 copies of Guardian of Faith in the sideboard to try and mitigate that, but we haven't played those yet today, so I don't know if that's good or bad or not. Could go either way. My human knight. I want him now. It's pretty good for us. So I think I'm gonna gargoyle here, and then we'll Vanishing Verse this turn, and then next turn we can go Nadaar, drop, and then the attack with this will trigger the dungeon finishing. A little bigger. Maybe a 3/3 to be able to trade with this. As it gets the pump from Nadaar. Start pressuring in the air here. It's pretty good with their creatures that grow. Yeah, like guessing this is a 1/1 with flying is like really strong, huh? Might actually grind us out. Easy trade. Some good pickup. We're on the draw this game, right? So I can do both of these. Are we gonna have enough time to go through the Mad Mage? I think so. Yeah, I'll take a gargoyle. I think anything that ventures on top of our deck is fine here. Fortunately, cannot Valorous Stance this one. But we can make our thing indestructible. Also, it survives. This effigy could bury us here if they have a good run with it, and they have Moon Dancer to give them scries. There's a good chance they pop off here a little bit. They made their thing indestructible till end of turn. I could have killed it on their upkeep, but I wanted to keep my Triumphant Adventurer alive, chat. Oh, the Wanderer isn't creature we control. Sorry, Wizards. Wizards of the Coast is incredibly inconsistent with all of their templating. That's a good line to catch. That wasn't what was being talked about there, I don't think. I just assumed this was creature I control, because that's just how Magic cards are usually templated these days. That's not, you're correct. Explain what's going on in my head in that scry decision. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to use Runestone Caverns to draw cards here. And I don't think that I do, because I want to Wandering Emperor as a combat trick potentially here. That's what I was trying to compute through there. All right, so that was their draw for the turn. The question is, do they have creatures on top that they can cast and start popping off? They do not. Wow, just full bricks. So obviously, opponent getting a little bit unlucky there. There's a good chance that even if they were fortunate, we were still going to win because we were set up pretty well. The caverns are not permanent. You have to cast the spells immediately as they come off the top of your deck. Use them or lose them instantaneously. I agree that it is not clear that that's how the templating is from just reading the dungeon, but that is how it works. Yeah, we started with Historic. Today, Sergeant Pepper Hands, we played some Mardu Parahelion. We'll usually be into our second format of the day by 12:30. And do a little bit of each every day. think this is a tapped land tier on 1. I will almost never tell you a deck is worth crafting because I don't want to be the scapegoat if it ends up being bad for you. Sorry, that's too much responsibility. Honestly, this deck is probably explicitly a bad craft, even if it is okay, because it uses a bunch of cards that are really narrow and only playable inside of this deck. Yeah, super subjective question for sure. If we treasure token, we can finish our dungeon here and smash them for a bunch. So we draw, we get a wolf, these things get 1/1, we attack for 8. Pretty good turn 4, all things considered. This is the part where they cast the Day of Judgment they got off of the Key of the Archives. Just a Lightning Helix. Using 3 Nadaar and an Adventurer. That's probably worth crafting then. I actually think Nadaar is the most playable card in this deck outside of this archetype in general. It's a pretty reasonable Magic the Gathering card. Yeah, just look them right in the eyes while you make this attack, chat. There's no fear in our dojo.
Of battle, then guide it. I have got new moves to teach you.
This is the part where they like have a Valorous Stance. Nope, just got him. You love things you love to see. It. Yeah. Huh. Can we kill them before these Felidar retreats take over, chat? That's the question. I think we're in an okay position to do it. I think we're gonna Vanishing Verse one of these retreats this turn for sure, obviously. I want them to make blocking decisions before they know one of their retreats is going away, though. It might have even been right to, like, put a counter here. Well, I guess it ends up being mostly a wash. I'm gonna chill on Tangled Florahedron because it could be a cast spell for Varis next turn. So extra Vanishing Verse sounds good. Skyclave to tag the retreat sounds good. What's going on, Guzby? Thank you for the 69-month resubscription. Nice. Thanks for keeping me around. It's been a while. Welcome back. I'm gonna trim an Emperor here. Their one Dorko has Vigilance. She has like okay as a combat trick there. Innkeeper is kind of a card that I trim a lot. It's a card that helps us be a little bit more linear. Oh, you know what? Enfeeblement's probably good here, huh? It tags their 2-drop and it tags their 4-drop as well. I don't understand why people keep asking me if I'm playing a Mardu card in my Abzan deck. Stop it, Twitch chat. Stop it. And the Emperor is super good. I love the Planeswalker designs in this set. They are really fantastic. She's not a wandering court jester, definitely an Emperor. When Emperor slot okay into red-white dragons, I'm not sure that it really fits there because that's not a deck that really needs or wants more top end. Like, you already have like a giant glut of 4, 5, and 6 mana cards that archetype wants, and I'm not sure that Emperor is better than any of the other choices that it has already. I have not had a donation for Boros mid-range with Wandering Emperor and Historic, but I think she's probably great in that deck. It's on my list of things to get to eventually. Playing only one deck in each format a day takes a little bit longer to get through to everything I want to do, but it's also better for burnout purposes, so I think I'm gonna stick to it. I've been enjoying the mix of doing 3 different things a day. I think that's gonna be the new normal here. Our opponent appears to have been put off after the first game. Ventures and disconnects might put us into Mythic. Slow and steady. I did see the PS5 Cyberpunk update finally came out yesterday. I will drop that in my list of games to get to at some point. I'll probably want at least one more patch. Their first next-gen patch. Let's like wait for the next one. I assume they've still got things to iron out. But I'm glad I'm glad they're getting there. Horizon Forbidden West is probably going to... Yeah, it sounds like if you're someone that's been waiting on Cyberpunk, they finally published a release that's like, got most of the things out of the way. My variety segments are probably going to be Horizon Forbidden West for like the next month and a half, though. I imagine that game's going to be 40 or 50 hours. We're gonna do 6 or 7 hours on Friday, but it'll still be a lot of content after that. I plan to take my time with Horizon and enjoy the world and side quest stuff a little bit more if it's good. I really like the setting. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is just like one of the all-time greatest games of all time. It's really fantastic. If you enjoy open world RPGs, Horizon just nails it on basically every aspect. The early reviews say that Forbidden West just takes all the good stuff they did in the first one and builds on it elegantly, which is what you love to hear. That was not the black mana I wanted for Christmas, chat. If we'd hit the black source to get the drop on this, we'd have been in a good spot. You know how this matchup goes. It's probably hard. Oh, this is so brutal. I think I have to chump block here, right? Because otherwise they draw 2 cards. On the draw, so that's going to be an untapped black source next turn. Can't win anymore. Feels like can't win territory. This deck that the opponent's playing, chat, is the best deck in this format by a lot. Very significant margin. If you are looking to just win, you should play red-green aggro. What's going on, Resident Bell? Afternoon. Thanks for the follow, Future Poker. Get the drop on here. Oh, do they have Ranger's Guile too? I mean, like, Embercleave flashbacks, I think, is a weird thing to say. Because, like, their deck's not good because it's Embercleave adjacent. Their deck's good because it draws infinite cards and has some of the... Oh, they have 3 wolves. They're super dead. Their deck's good because it, like, draws a bunch of cards that has cheap protection. It's cheap anti-interaction, whatever you want to call it. Certainly an all Doomblades on deck matchup. Emperor's a little slow. I think 2 stances is fine to keep in. I don't think I want to board in the third because I won't always have things with 4+ toughness. I think this is just a land here. This one's probably not a spell unless it goes really late. No blocks. 19. Doke. I don't think Seek takes it off the top of my deck. Well, non-land card at random. So if they get the Vanishing Verse, it's incredibly unlucky. Alright. It's also not great for us, but it's better than losing our removal spell that's going to kill Rihilda here. Man, did they really need another 1 mana protection card, chap? I was about to say, you know, when I finished eating, if they take Skin Veil here, it's not a big deal because I can still attack and then I can Valorous Stance their thing next turn. But I can't do that anymore because it's still just a 3/3. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, this just wasn't a card that was on my radar. I actually don't understand why you would play this card when you have access to Stake Skin Veil. There's no way they're playing 5+ 1 mana protection spells, right? They're just like playing a split of them. Yeah, we're super dead. I don't think I've played a single Alchemy deck that has felt competitive against the green-red deck. Absolutely every deck we've played in Alchemy has walked away from the green-red matchup being like, well, that's really bad. I hope we play against other things. Ooh, that's a good catch. It's better against Blood on the Snow. I guess. It's worse against Meathook Massacre, though, right? And there's definitely more Meathook Massacres in the format than Blood on the Snows. I actually can't remember the last time someone Blood on the Stone me. That's a reasonable shout, I guess, but I think Snakeskin Veil's still better there. Yeah, the best sweepers are Meathook and Divine Purge. Most common ones, at least. There are some Doomskars and Blood on the Stones in the format, is fair. They're probably just playing a split for that reason. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't think I would do that if I was playing the green-red deck. I think I'd go in on the Snakeskin Veils, but yeah, I'd bet they're probably playing a split. I don't think you want more than like 3 or 4 of that effect. Good against the one sweeper, but bad against the other sweeper is a succinct summary of playing Magic in 2022. It really is. There's just so many wraths. Our hand's actually pretty okay here into a control deck. Drop is obviously not great, but we've got both of our planeswalkers here.
Who's ready for adventure?
I think I want to spread these out in case they have a spot removal spell. I got you, Boshek.
Well, can't fault me for trying.
Lands? Question mark? Well, we have spells, I guess. The two-year badge is the first castle. I think this match is probably going to go long enough that we want to go into the Mad Mage here. They're either dying very shortly or I'm going to want the extra grind. We have killed the mighty lobster, Jim. Here, fear not, the lobster hath been slain. Tonight we feast like kings, something like that. Alright, if we draw untapped land, we can go Varis into Nadaar. They're also dead on board. Is this a Doomskar face down? Okay. Untapped land, please. Alright, let's just go Varis into Adventure at least.
This is a serious situation. We can still have a little fun.
Gains 2 when it pluses, right? Yikes.
A second here, a second there. Who's counting?
Okay, so we're gonna get to cast one of these for free, and then we'll draw the others here when we attack. They have Hollow the Storm Giant to block my Varis here. We're definitely hitting into the Tomb of Annihilation, though. You okay, friendo? They're dead. They're dead now. Okay. Okay. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, Chip. Bring in the other Vanishing Verse to beat their Leers and their Hullbreakers. We got the Stance. Yeah, they must have forgotten about their creature land, huh? I'll board out the drops and the Innkeepers. We've been doing well. We got thrashed by red-green werewolves, but that deck seems to beat everything we play. We've had good matches against basically everything else. It's fine. Yeah, I'm expecting something in the red-green deck to get touched in the balance patch next month, I think, is probably reasonable. Yeah, we haven't run into any meat hook decks. This opponent's deck is the first sweeper deck we've run into, but I also think this deck is better against, like, these blue-white style decks than it is against the black decks. Our sources of card advantage are better here, and their clock's much slower. The problem with the meat hook deck is they not only sweep us, but they also kill us relatively quickly afterwards. I'm gonna lead on the Seat of the Empire, because if we draw a different black land, we might want this to be green. There's a lot of knobs they could twist in that shell. I think it's it's just Pandelver first. This could honestly be a Tomb of Annihilation first matchup too, though. Yeah, so the upcoming championship event is going to be... The upcoming championship event is going to be Alchemy and Historic, so I would not be surprised to see Werewolves have a really strong performance there.
Oh, I hope we discover something new.
I think I'm ulting Ellywick, so I'm just gonna go ahead and generate some card advantage with her.
I've got friends everywhere.
I think based on their balancing so far, Precipic, I've been pretty happy with how they've managed Alchemy. But I also wouldn't fault people for chilling a bit and waiting to see how they manage it as things go a little longer. The first balance patch they did came a little bit slow, but was very reasonable in terms of how they balanced. I think if they have more like the first, that's in for good things. Play more lands, chat. It's busted. Looks good. Tangled Florahedron, definitely an accelerant here with 4 other lands. Nice. Maybe this draw means this is a land, actually. I think I'd rather Innkeeper onto here. Yeah, I think this draw maybe meant I was supposed to play this as a land. We'll see. It could still end up being okay as a 1/1. I think I gotta kill that, right? Because if they just, like, kill my Innkeeper, they'll kill Ellywick. I think we're gonna Nadaar. I'm in for backup, Ellie. Let's play this turn. I don't think I need the treasure token. Having an extra blocker down sooner sounds appealing. Spellpierce seems okay in this format. I don't know that it's a main deck card necessarily, as long as the red-green deck is good. You definitely want to play some in your 75 though, for sure. How many damage player remove the menace counter from it? If you do, they reveal their hand, you exile a non-land card from it. That's pretty good. Try and save Nadaar here. They have a removal spell. We get into a little bit of trouble with this, but it seems good. Hey, Dal. Thanks for the 17 months. Schedule is supposed to be more toward YouTube. I wanted to show my support. Well, thanks for keeping me around making stuff for both here and YouTube. Wouldn't be here without folks like you. Seems like a Vanishing Verse. Seems like a Doomblade's on deck matchup. Basically, something you'll see me do a lot with decks like this, and something I always like to emphasize during sideboarding is I'm boarding out Prosperous Innkeeper a lot. But that doesn't mean Prosperous Innkeeper is bad and something we shouldn't be playing. What I'm basically doing in these post-board games is the cards I'm replacing Innkeeper with differ depending on what matchup we're playing. If we're playing against control decks, we're bringing in things like Duress and Guardian of Faith. If we're playing against creature decks, we're bringing in spot removal spells. So Innkeeper is a card that's kind of more proactive. It helps us get our cards into play faster, so we give you our linear game one, and then we change our deck appropriately post-board to figure out which direction we want to go in. Yeah, there's more upside to +1. You're right that the less risky play was just -2, but the upside was really high if we got Teeth Through Thing there. Yeah, seems good. Yeah, John, Neo cards are legal in Alchemy right now. I've got a Neo card right here, and this opponent has Neo cards in play already. Alchemy is literally just standard with balance changes, is the thing to understand. Plus those direct to digital cards. Gosh, maybe I was supposed to play a forest there to play Varis out, because he has reach. It. So this sequencing's a little bit awkward because it doesn't trigger the Varis, but I think I want a Gargoyle here first, so I have the extra blocker. And then the treasure token the Gargoyle generates from the dungeon lets us Varis as well. Sneakiest keyword in Magic the Gathering, chat. Reach. The Kamigawa treasure tokens are gorgeous. Agree. Hey, you spell pierced me. Are we done here? Feels like we're in garbage time. Yeah. All right, chat. Will we be Mythic Gamers for the first time since December? Let's find out. Let's find out. Chat, I've got something cool to share that's gonna be coming up. Cool Stuff Inc. is someone that sponsored my stuff off and on, and they sponsored the Hoaglandia Opens, obviously. So we've been working on this with them and one of their very talented artists. And we're gonna have a Jeff Hogland token here that you're gonna be able to get inside of Cool Stuff Inc. purchases. Turned out really well. The stats on it are for the Saurian Vampire. Yeah, it turned out real slick. Yeah, it's a sword token. I think with the way their production stuff works, it's probably going to be available with Streets of New Capenna stuff later on, I think is the plan. I have some hair, chat. Thank you very much. There's a little bit of hair up here. Don't make me switch to the big camera. All right, chat, this is the final boss, our Mythic Gatekeeper. All right, going to 6. Weens, thanks for the over 4 years. Welcome back. Okay, keepable 6, bottom of the Ellywick. We're on the draw. Oh no, chat! Our final boss is a Meat Hook Massacre deck. Alright, I guess we'll find out if our sideboard plan is good enough here. Big yikes. Yep, there's white on their Forsaken Crossroads. Chat, imagine being someone stupid enough to play X1s in this format. Imagine being someone dumb enough to play an X1 creature. Bellium, thank you for the 2 years. Welcome back. I appreciate it. I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. Do 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 do. Scry me a river, baby. Wait, did it bug? Wait, am I putting it, and this is top, right? And this is bottom now? I think I'm putting it on the bottom. All right, we have successfully scried it to the bottom. Interfaced. we have successfully interfaced. The interface was the real final end boss. Mood. Truth is out there, sheeple, wake up! The shuffler's rigged. You have Rite of Oblivion's my 0-3. Dominance asserted. So because their deck is full of removal spells, I'm actually gonna go ahead and down-tick Ellywick here when we play her, so she can draw us a creature. This way, when they spot remove Ellywick next turn, she at least drew us a card. Oh, mistakes were made, chat. Mistakes were made. I forgot about the creature land.
In these songs is always the hardest.
Forgot about the creature land. Thought we were being smart. Turns out we were actually being big dumb. Actually incredibly stupid. It's still probably right. I don't know. Maybe. And then the meat hook gets to sit in play as a card for Rite of Oblivion to sacrifice. The good decks are really good in this format. Definitely feels like we're almost playing different formats. The black-white and the black-white deck and the red-green deck. Solid cuts above. Thanks for the follow, SB Dark. They did pseudonym. It was addressed in the last patch. We have 16 players signed up for our open on Saturday. Interested to see what metrics look like for this one. Our first Alchemy tournament was pretty middling in terms of metrics, but we didn't have a set championship invite for that one. And it was like one of the first Alchemy tournaments ever run. So I'm cautiously optimistic this one's gonna have an okay turnout and viewer metrics. Gargoyle gets to scry on too, so that hopefully finds us a black source for these. There's nothing wrong with only playing formats of Magic that you enjoy. Playing Magic for fun is busted. I played Varis here, because not only do I want to get Varis triggers when I cast the rest of these, but they probably have a 2-mana removal spell here, and they can't Vanishing Verse Varis this turn because of his Ward 1. I really hope the next Alchemy drop has more board wipes. Alright, you can have 10 minutes to think about what you said. Okay? Go to your room. I know a timeout request when I see one, chat.
Like someone wants a scout. There are so many things to see.
I will pay attention to their creature land this turn and plus her. They're all one-sided if there's no creatures in your deck. Ain't that the truth? All sweepers are one-sided if you don't play threats. I see you, timeout requests. I know what you're doing.
A stranger is just a friend to be.
Stranger is just a friend to be. Alright, I think it's Mad Mage time, chat. Let's get our grind done. Joke's on you, opponent. I didn't want those creatures anyways. Oh, sweet! We found a Valorous Stance. So now the next time they play a sweeper, we can stop them, protect our creature.
A stranger is just a future friend.
Oh my gosh, chat. Are they out of sweepers? Holy, I don't know what to do with my hands. Somebody help me understand.
Come on, hurry up, let's go.
Hurry up, let's go. Okay.
You started this fight, but I'm going to end it.
We out here grinding, shit. The grind is real.
May your blades.
Even if they have a third sweeper here, we're gonna get to keep playing a game, right? We have gas in the tank. We're about to finish the Mad Mage. Alright, bye friends. Gas in the tank, money in the bank, chat. Let's go.
just love a good quest.
Dear Arena Interface, please stop making me click on things. Sure. I think I'm gonna stance this.
Keep watch for
Hey,
intruders.
do you have a fourth sweeper opponent? Not a fourth sweeper, chip.
I will cull the weak.
Not a fourth sweeper. Oh, the wedding thing just popped off, though. Man, are we supposed to go into the Mad Mage again? Duress right on time.
I have got new moves to teach you.
Subservience will be rewarded.
Yeah, you go through the dungeons pretty quick. We're fully gonna address them after this happens. Come on, pick your best non-creature spell for me, friendo. I believe. Remember, chat, if we manage to win this one, our prize is playing a game 3. That's definitely still an if.
Oh, I hope we discover something new. Can we still be friends?
Maybe I'm supposed to plus her again on Nadaar.
Talking.
There are so many things to see.
Oh! I can only animate one hive as a blocker. I think we're shipping into their Planeswalker, huh? Are they low enough that it's finally time to go into the Tomb of Annihilation? I think they are. Oh, I forgot this thing was a 4/4. There's a 3/3 in my brain. My brain did a dumb chip. Huh, really? Oh, they have a piece of spot removal. Yeah, I don't know that I want to trade my Emperor for... I'd have to, like, give up the Emperor on board, though, and I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to just, like, cast Triumphant Adventurer post-combat. There's a lot of permutations here. I don't think they have removal based on how they're going back and forth with these blocks. It seems like they're trying to set up to save their Planeswalker. Interesting they didn't put this in front of here to trade. If they did that, this would have died with the damage marked on it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this game's such a good example of why attacking and blocking are some of the most interesting decisions in games of Magic, right? Like, just the number of permutations my opponent had to go through there to try and figure out what looks ideal. I despise the fact that this game application highlights what you're mousing over for your opponent. It is such an incredible detriment to content creators that are trying to produce good content.
Come on, hurry up, let's go.
I'm gonna make a 2/2 here, so this way I can play. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 mana, really? 4, 8, 10. Yeah. So okay, so we can play Varis. And then we can play Emperor and trigger our what's it called when we do, and then we still have Guardian of Faith mana up for next turn. It gives away free information. All right. And now there's a game 3. Is the reasoning mimicking IRL Magic? Yeah, I think so. But you also have to do tedious things. How does mouse over content creators affect more than regular players? Because a good content creator is going to be explaining what the opponent's options are while they're making their decisions. And while you're explaining what their options are, you're going to be mousing over their cards that represent those options, which can indicate to your opponent, oh, I have something I didn't think about. So if you're making good content, you're giving your opponent free information in Magic Arena. In a good example of stupid things that you do in paper Magic, for example, when the card Snapcaster Mage was legal, if you're playing a deck with Snapcaster Mage in it, you always had to play with your graveyard fanned out, because if you draw your card for the turn and then immediately pick your graveyard up, it very clearly signals you've picked up something that interfaces with your graveyard. So there's lots of little things you have to do in paper Magic to not spew information. I keep this on the draw. It obviously needs to draw lands, but this is an attrition game and I want to start with as many cards as possible. Our creature land is just so good, shit. Could be right to dig for a land tier, but Varis is pretty good.
Who's ready for adventure?
Okay, so if we make a treasure token here, we can go Varis into A-Cloister Gargoyle, finish my dungeon. They do get to flashback Rite of Oblivion, sacrificing their blood token to get rid of my Ellywick, which is sad. Yeah, we had a not bad turn, but we're actually pretty far behind still, right? You can't rearrange your graveyard in Magic either. You can't rearrange your graveyard in formats that have cards that care about graveyard order. Most formats don't have that. What if we just make my creatures huge? Is that better or worse than drawing cards here? I actually don't know. I actually don't know. So the problem is, if I Ellywick Emblem, they can still meat hook me for 5 next turn. I think we're just supposed to draw a card. It doesn't get us out of meat hook range. I think if it got us out of meat hook range, I'd consider doing it, but it doesn't, right? So it's just not good.
I've got friends everywhere.
That's probably fine. Put some pressure on them.
Love an audience.
Could have had an emblem. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's fine. We went past an Emperor. We also went past, like, a giant glut of lands. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are actually only 13 creatures in my deck. 13 out of 44. I actually don't know that we were that unlucky. We're through a lot of creatures already. We were 90% to hit there. I'm gonna phase out my tapped creature here too, just in case they have a sweeper as a follow-up after I Guardian of Faith here.
I'm hungry. Aren't I the generous one?
Of course, the very next card is a hit.
Things to see.
The next two cards are hits. Classic Magic Arena. I think I need to kill their Planeswalker. We're like looking for a Wanderer in Ellywick here. I also wouldn't mind finding another Guardian of Faith to insulate us against the sweeper.
I will not cry like a meek little thing.
Ask! Welcome to the Shillionaires Club. Be sure to drop me a DM on the Discord server, letting me know to give you your access to Beverly Shills. And you can submit a deck via the deck submission form. And of course, to keep our trickle-down economy in action here, let's go ahead and make sure our next Shillionaire is that much easier to achieve for all the peons at home toiling away. Oh my gosh, did they draw Meat Hook Massacre? Did they actually draw a sweeper? I think we can beat a sweeper here potentially, but it's a little tilting that one came off the top. And that's the only way these attacks make sense, right? If the board's about to go away. And the next card will be the second Guardian of Faith, right? Because that's how this works. Alright, we have one for later.
A stranger is just a friend to be.
Keep watch for intruders.
Oh, I did this in the wrong order. Wow, they're actually not Ray of Oblivioning anything. It's an interesting decision.
Oh, I hope we discover
They're at
something.
way too much life to go into the the kill you dungeon this early, so. We do have a couple of multi-shillionaires, actually. We had another multi-shillionaire happen this week, in fact. You know what they say, the first shillion is the hardest. I only deal in shekels. All right, yeah, Guardian. All right. Ha! That was the hard matchup, chat. We beat the hard matchup to get to Mythic. Yeah, that was, Maybe this deck's real. So, we appropriately bag on bad YouTube and Twitch chat suggestions all the time. So I'd like to give a shout out where credit is due. Guardian of Faith was a suggestion from a YouTube comment, and they did exactly what I want to hear, which is they were like, Jeff, the problem is Meat Hook Massacre. Maybe Guardian of Faith solves that problem. And I'm not a fan of this style of effect in aggressive decks, but our deck's not an aggressive deck. Our deck is like this mid-range value deck that can afford to hold up mana in the mid to late game against their sweepers. And more importantly, because this is a creature, we can find it with Ellywick's -2. So these 3 copies are really like we're playing 4 or 5 copies with our ability to find them. Past that, a few people commenting on it in chat, Wandering Emperor also felt really good in that matchup. It gave us combat tricks. It gave us the ability to push our creatures out of Meat Hook Massacre range in key spots. It let us exile some of their attackers. It put pressure on the board. It was another flash threat, so we could like hold it up to not play into a sweeper and still put pressure into play that turn as well. I liked that one a lot. Yeah. So if you're looking for a deck that's kind of fun, I've liked this deck for a long time, and both the Wandering Emperor and Guardian of Faith feel like they are new additions that work to solve the previous problem this deck had. I don't know that I'm gonna say the Meat Hook Massacre matchup is good, but it feels like we have tools to be competitive there between Emperor, and Guardian of Faith now, which is sweet.